Good afternoon. My name is Jim Hogan, and with me today at the Millville Army Airfield Museum is the Executive Director, Lisa Jester. Now, generally we call these fireside chats, but we're at the museum and there's no fire. So we're going to discuss the museum, but I got to do a couple caveats. One, I'm wearing a jacket. I am not a veteran. And the object of this is to commemorate and support the Collins Foundation, which often flies out of this Millville Airport, and I've had the honor to fly in World War II airplanes. So I recommend it to anybody that wants to come down and partake of these historic airplanes. And I believe August, did you tell me they're coming?
The end of August, they normally head to South Jersey.
So we're here really to hear the story of the museum from Lisa Jester. And so Lisa, tell us about the museum as far as its history and what makes it so appealing.
Thank you, Jim. And you definitely look very handsome in that jacket. Yeah. And I was there the day you flew back in on that P-51 Mustang, so that was quite exciting. We have been open here for 30 years, preserving this very important World War II history. Our mission is to preserve this, and like Jim said, the Collins Foundation has that same mission, so it is so nice to host them here. Usually at the end of August, they actually bring in 3 bombers and then their fighter, their P-51 Mustang. Our museum is free admission. We are open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And free admission, you can't beat it. I mean, obviously donations are welcome, but once you get in the door and see everything that we have to offer as far as our displays and our artifacts, it's definitely worth the trip.
Lisa, obviously the museum needs funds to operate. So what is on your agenda for fundraising events and that would be interested to the public at large?
Absolutely, Jim. As a 501c3 nonprofit, funding is critical to our museum to keep us open. Our largest fundraisers are our air shows, the Millville Wheels and Wings air shows. We do them every 2 to 3 years. So hopefully we'll have something in the near future that'll be announced. Then we also do a golf event every year at White Oaks Country Club. We do quarterly movie nights where we actually have them in our Henry E. Weibel Library and Education Center. It is a free event, but donations are welcome, and we usually have a World War II veteran as our speaker, and we usually play a movie that pertains to his service. We also have a store area that's inside of our museum that raises us money. Memberships are the backbone of our organization. You don't need to actually serve here, come here, or volunteer, or attend meetings. Pretty much they keep us operating with general support.
What's it cost to be a member?
$25 a year for an individual membership, $40 for family, and then they go up depending on the level of support you would like to offer.
So when I come in here, I get that feel of when I was a toddler, or and remember things. The whole feel, and it's appropriate because of the history of this airport. Right. It was the first.
America's first defense airport.
When you talk about the Thunderbirds have been here and the Blue Angels, and you have that pilots party, to see the Blue Angels react to a Thunderbolt pilot from World War II.
Priceless.
They are in awe of that pilot, and they may be on a walker or whatever, and they might be bent over.
Cane.
Yeah, but that was so impressive to me, to see those young pilots, the best, and just a total respect, and of course for me, being a pilot, but getting in those planes, you have that feeling of maybe like awe is the only way I can say it. You sit down in that plane and say, the history of this aircraft is incredible. So I think what you're doing, Lisa, is very important. It's very important for generations that come up to remind people, my generation, who were behind the greatest generation, I think what you're doing is excellent.
I'm going to give you a couple examples of some exhibits that you can see while visiting the Millville Army Airfield Museum. We have here a typical Army barracks that is set up, and then we also have a coal stove, and this is an original coal burning stove from the Millville Army Airfield. And here we have our lifetime membership board, and this is everyone that we know of that actually served here and went through the Millville Army Airfield base. The little blue dot denotes that the member is deceased or has folded wings. But it is really neat to see family members and friends come in and find their loved one or their friend's name and then actually see their nameplate on display. Okay, we also have here a Japanese exhibit. We have an original Imperial Japanese Naval Aviator combat gear. And this is very unique because the actual gear is actually lined with rabbit fur. So it is a very unique artifact, and that's why it is in a case and protected. Okay, now on display on this back wall, we have a mesh tow target. Actually, this was towed by one of the bombers, a B-26 Marauder, and then our own P-47 Thunderbolt actually would shoot at it. And how they would know how well that they did was all the bullets actually were colored. So there was green, red, orange, and yellow, and then when this actually came down on the ground, the pilots would actually see where they actually shot. So in a sense, this was like paintball during World War II, which is pretty cool. So we're real excited to have this original tow target on display here because the history is amazing.
Lisa, thank you for the tour. There's so much to see, and it just takes your breath away sometimes, and that's not an overstatement, because when you start to understand what people go through and what they went through, and you may end up with a conversation with a World War II vet, and you just have to have a ton of respect for people, what they went through for this country.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, come and visit the Millville Army Airfield Museum. We are located on 1 Ledden Street at the Millville Airport, Millville, New Jersey. Hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 4. Remember, free admission. Like us on Facebook. Visit our website, www.p47millville.org. It is definitely worth the trip.